Good morning, fellow gardeners. We're here back now. We're going to answer some more questions for people that haven't went back and looked at all the videos. I know we got new subscribers coming online, and we appreciate that. One question was asked, in those 55-gallon barrels that we grow the cucumbers in, or the squash, or we're going to try watermelons, cantaloupes this next spring, how much fertilizer would you put in a 55-gallon barrel? Okay, you're going to use about 50 gallons of water in there. You want it to come up to where whatever pot you use, the bottom of it will just barely touch that water. So you'll have somewhere between 50 and 52 gallons of water in that barrel. Now, on constant feed, you use 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. So if you've got 50 to 52 gallons of water, you're going to need to use 50 to 52 teaspoons of fertilizer. Well, you don't want to count out 1, 2, 3 to get 52 or 55. So if you'll go on your computer and type in the question, how many teaspoons of fertilizer is there in a cup? It will boom, and you've got 48 teaspoons per cup. So if you're going to use 50 to 52 teaspoons in them 52 gallons of water, a 48 teaspoon cup is just about the right ratio. So what I tell you, and I'm going to tell you, I've had some people put in a cup of fertilizer and it burns their plants. Now, whether they didn't stir it up, or whether they didn't have that much water, or they got lenient and put in a cup and a half, I don't know. Or whether they added a cup full to what they used last year, I don't know. But I would wash that barrel out, fill it full of clean water this next spring now when you get ready. And remember now, you're going to have to back up 3 or 4 weeks and plant your cucumbers in your little plugs to grow the cucumber plant up there that has 2 or 3, 4 leaves on it. To get ready to pull it out, wash the soil off, put it over in your little pot, put a little gravel around it, touching the water, and it's going to take off and grow. So in that 52 gallons of water or 50 gallons of water, put about I use a half a cup is what I use. A half to 3/4 of a cup. That's on the weak side. I can always add fertilizer. I can't take fertilizer out once I've added it in and dissolved it. So I start out with a half a cup. And if I see it look like it's not growing exactly like I want it, I might add another 5 or 6 teaspoons of fertilizer to add to that barrel to get them things, when they got a little longer root system, to really get them to growing. So kind of use your own thinking, and if you have any doubts, call me. Send me a little picture on the text. That's all I do now is text. I don't get on the computer. You know, I know occasionally I do get to look at some of the videos on the computer. I can do that. But I can't answer questions on the computer. I can't do a lot of these things on the computer that y'all do. But I'm too busy out here making videos, selling golf cars, selling greenhouses, buying pipe, answering questions. I've got my day full already. So anyway, get on there and find out how many teaspoons is in a cup and see if it doesn't tell you 48 teaspoons per cup. And you know that you'll use something less than that in your water. Now what kind you're going to use? You know, either use a balanced 20-20-20 or use I use a little higher center number to make the blooms come more. So I'm going to use something like a 14-70-48. Half of that will be 7, 35, 24. Because I use a half a teaspoon of each per gallon. So I can't add them both together, and I'll not get into all of that today. But anyway, that kind of gives you a little rule of thumb how much fertilizer. Now if you're going to use a 30-gallon barrel, go back and find out how many teaspoons there are in a half a cup. And it's probably going to tell you 25. So you need to use something under a half a cup in a 30-gallon. All right, let's get on to another.
Question.
Yes, question.
On planting your cucumbers, is there a certain variety that works better than another?
Well, there's a lot of those cucumbers you can use. But let me tell you, if you'll use the varieties that are all female blooms, you'll get a lot more cucumbers. Because if you use a regular cucumber variety like Straight 8 or Pick a Peck or something like that, of those varieties that it'll have 80% male blooms, 10 to 20% female blooms, you're only going to get a few cucumbers. But if you'll use a variety that's all female blooms, then that way you'll get every bloom that comes on them plants will make you a cucumber. And they have some of these new varieties. They're self-pollinating. You don't have to have male blooms to pollinate them. So I know Diva, D-I-V-A, and it's real accessible, you know, from 10 to 15 cents a seed. There's others you can buy that are all female that cost you $1 to $1.50 a seed. That's a little pricey for my billfold, but anyway, I use the Diva is what I use. D-I-V-A. You can find them in lots of these mail order catalogs. HPS has got them. I'm drawing a blank on all these catalogs, seed catalogs. Johnny Seed, a lot of these others will have them. So they'll be sending you some mail order seed catalogs this winter. Look into them this winter when it's cold and get your seeds ordered. Okay, we'll get on to another question. I'll spend a lot of time on that. Don't look for a special brand that I'm telling you about. Yes, I use Nature Source for my nitrogen source. I use Master Blend for my phosphorus, potash source. And you can go on Amazon and find a lot of those fertilizers I'm telling you about. But you don't have to use the same brands that I use. All fertilizers have got nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash in them. They'll have very little trace minerals. So therefore, you need to use some trace minerals or some sea salt, or not sea salt, but the, well, I've lost my train of thought. Well, my salt, the ocean water's been evaporated. My sign of getting old. You remember I've turned 40 for the second time. Now I'm on my third time going 40. Let's see if we make it or not. Brain is leaving away, seems like. Sea mineral. Need some sea mineral. That's what you need. It's got 90-something different trace minerals. It's sea mineral. It's a dried, evaporated water out of the ocean. Got 90-something different trace minerals. Use some of that. That'll stop a lot of your diseases. That'll stop your blossom end rot on your tomatoes. And so it's good for a lot of things. Get you some of that sea mineral. You can buy that off of Amazon too. If not, call my business company and we will send you some fertilizer. Okay. Remember, they say, how often do you fertilize? Well, now we're jumping from that barrel of water, which is constant feed all the time. Now we're going over to the wicking bucket, and they want to know, how often do you fertilize that wicking bucket? Well, you want that plant that's in that wicking bucket to eat only on the days that you eat. Duh. Is that about every day? Okay.
About
5 times a day. Well, that's the reason some people have a little problem with weight if they're eating that many times a day, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, seriously, let's put a teaspoon of fertilizer in every gallon of water you put down that pipe every time you put water in it. That way that plant can eat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When you're not worried about it, it can eat and drink and breathe while you're doing something else. All right, let's punch the button. Subscribe. If you like these videos, I'm going to make you some more.